All right, let's get right into it. We're about to break down some super candid, super real money lessons from a guy who made his first million when he was just 18 years old. Now, he made a ton of mistakes along the way, and what we're going to do here is distill all of that hard-won wisdom so you don't have to make the same ones. And we're starting with the biggest lesson of all. Seriously, forget your rent, your car payment, even that overpriced coffee you buy every day. Your biggest expense is something you can't even see on a bank statement. It's this right here. It's what you didn't do. The businesses you never got around to starting, the side hustles you kept pushing off, that's where the real fortune is lost. Okay, so if doing nothing is the most expensive thing you can possibly do, how do you actually fight back against that? What's the game plan? Well, it's not about taking some massive risky leap. It's actually about building a solid foundation, piece by piece, so you can start chipping away at the cost of inaction. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. For the guy we're learning from, this was a personal and very, very expensive lesson. Get this. Even after he was already a millionaire, he admits he waited for years until he was 20 to really start investing his money. Can you even imagine the compound growth he just let slip away? That delay, that inaction, was a multi-million-dollar mistake. It's a powerful reminder that the cost of waiting is almost always way, way higher than the risk of just getting started. So, avoiding the big mistakes, that's half the battle. But what about the other half? You know, the part where you're actively building something. That's where we're going next. We're going to talk about how to build your own wealth engine. This is all about the crucial mindset shift and the tools you need to go from just earning money to truly building real, lasting wealth. This right here, this is the fundamental switch you have to flip in your brain. Just look at it. Are you a consumer, someone who constantly spends money to get value from other people? Or are you a creator, someone who gets paid to provide value to other people? The entire world economy is just this giant exchange of value. The only question is, which side of the counter do you want to be on? And becoming a creator isn't some vague, fluffy idea. It actually breaks down into 3 super clear, actionable steps. First, you invest in yourself, your skills, your knowledge. Then you invest in your tools. You know, the software, the equipment, whatever it is that gives you an edge. Only then, once you've got those 2 things sorted, can you effectively create value that the market will happily pay you for. And please, please hear this. This point is so, so crucial. Before you even think about throwing money at stocks or crypto or whatever the hot new thing is, every single dollar you earn in the beginning should go right back into making you better. Why? Because you are the business. You're the engine of your own income. Seriously, the return on investment you get from upgrading your own skills will blow any other investment out of the water, especially at the start. Okay, so you're doing it. You're creating value. The money is finally starting to roll in. Fantastic. But now comes the really hard part, not losing it all. So this next section is all about the common and often devastating money traps that new earners almost always fall into. Let me show you a very specific and frankly painful example of one of these traps in action. This isn't theoretical. This is a real-world loss that someone else took. And it revolves around one of the absolute biggest wealth destroyers for young people, buying brand new cars. Just look at these numbers. It's kind of crazy. The first owner of this McLaren paid $700,000 for it. A year and a half later, it was bought for $300,000. That is the raw, brutal reality of depreciation. The lesson here is simple but so powerful. Let someone else take that massive financial hit. And there's the cost, just staring you in the face, a $400,000 loss. That's not a typo. That is the literal price of buying new versus buying smart. That one mistake costs more than what most people earn in a decade. It's wild. This all boils down to a fundamental shift in how you think. See, most people ask, how much does it cost? But wealthy people, they ask a totally different, way more important question. How much am I going to lose on this? They're not focused on today's price tag, they're focused on the asset's value over time. Answering that second question is the absolute key to protecting your capital. And this leads us right into the next major trap, the sneaky thing called lifestyle creep. It's when your spending just kind of quietly rises to meet your new higher income. You make more, so you spend more. It seems harmless, right? But this one insidious habit bankrupts more young, successful people than failed businesses do. It is a silent wealth killer. So let's say you're doing everything right. You're avoiding bad purchases, you're watching out for lifestyle creep, but there is one single psychological enemy that is more dangerous than all of the other traps combined. Any idea what it is? The answer isn't a market crash or a bad investment deal. Nope. It's something internal. Your greatest financial enemy is actually a feeling that we all constantly chase, but one that can completely derail your entire journey to building wealth. That's it. Comfort. The moment you hit a big goal, let's say it's $10,000 a month, and you think, I've made it, I can finally relax, that is the exact moment you stop growing. Comfort is the killer of ambition. It makes you think the race is over when it's just getting started. And this is exactly why comfort is so dangerous. Getting to a certain level of success is one challenge, for sure. But the real test, the harder battle, is staying there and then continuing to grow. Comfort makes you complacent, and complacency is the absolute enemy of any kind of sustained success. So this brings us to our final and honestly most empowering idea. Once you've learned how to recognize and defeat that urge for comfort, the next step is to start actively breaking through the self-imposed limits that are holding you back. This is the ultimate takeaway. If you remember one thing, remember this. You don't get rich by saving money. You get rich by raising your ceiling. Sure, saving is important for financial health, but you can't save your way to true wealth. Real wealth is built by expanding your capacity to earn. It's all about breaking the mental barrier of what you believe you're worth and what you think you can achieve. And this is what that journey looks like, right? Everyone starts with a low ceiling. Maybe making your first $100 a month online feels like a massive win. Then you break through it, and your new ceiling becomes $1,000 a month, then $5,000, then $10,000. Each level requires you to completely destroy your old beliefs about what's possible. The only real thing stopping you from getting to the next level is that mental limit. So, as we wrap this up, the question isn't just about what you've learned, it's about what you're going to do with it. I want you to look at your own life, your own income, your own ambition. What is the self-imposed ceiling that's holding you back right now? And what's the very first step you're going to take to smash right through it?